What I'm going to do today is I'm going to leave the Bay Run right up Lilyfield Road, and I'm going to take the diversion on Catherine Street and see where it takes me. And let's have a look at what the Westconnex diversion wayfinding signage is like. At the corner of Lilyfield Road and Balmain Road, and this is obviously the main cycling route into the city. Now, right about there would be a fabulous spot to put up a sign for the diversion. A nice big core flute maybe, hanging off a couple of star pickets, or even attach it to that pole that the traffic lights are on. That way, when cyclists pull up, as they do in the left-hand lane here, they could just look across there and read about the diversion. Obviously, you don't want to, you just want a big, simple map essentially telling you where to turn. You don't need all the details of what the project's about. Like a dirty great big map right here would be a great idea. Now, so far, as far as I know, there's no diversion off Lilyfield Road. We just keep on going down here. But as I'm coming down the hill here towards Catherine Street, you can just make out sometimes a variable message sign ahead on the left. Now, today it was really actually hard to see because there was the left-hand, or the northern side lane was blocked off. There was a truck parked right in front of your sight lines for the sign. You couldn't see it. So I pulled over. Let's have a look. In between Balmain Road and Catherine Street, and up ahead there, just visible, is a flashing sign saying detour cyclist to city / Piedmont. Detour cyclist to city / Piedmont. And unfortunately it's not particularly visible at the moment because there's a work truck parked right in the line of where you'd see it. And I'm not entirely sure why that sign's there, given that we know we can go straight ahead and turn left up Gordon Street and detour that way. But that's the only bit of detour signage along here. Righto, the stop sign's lifted and off we go. And one thing I certainly noticed as I was coming down here is there's lots of signage directed at the drivers of vehicles, but there's just this one variable message sign here directed at cyclists. And something about this sign, you can only actually read it for a very short distance as you get really close to it. You can't see it from a long way off, and I've actually missed it on a previous occasion. Now in this instance I've taken the detour and we've been directed down the right hand side of the road to the right of that island there. The other side's blocked off. Now the issue I've got with this particular intersection when there's no detour here is that there's the road has been deliberately narrowed there between that flower garden and this island in the middle of the road. And it's been okay in the past when you're coming down here on a bike. You have cars turning right into here, where I am, and cyclists can slip down the left, there's enough room. Now we're in a situation where some cyclists are going to go straight ahead up to Victoria Road, some are going to do what I just did and turn right, and you're going to have drivers that are probably going to try and go straight down the middle, and there's not enough room to do that. That's a change in the traffic conditions, and driver behaviour would have to change to stop and not try and split the difference. Now, obviously with the roadworks on here and the traffic lights we just came through, vehicles are moving pretty slowly, but other times, there's people screaming down this hill at 70 or 80 kilometres an hour, and although there's a pedestrian island there that's a bit raised, there's still the potential for them to come into this little squeeze point here at high speed and hit someone from behind. Now, my personal experience from this intersection, I've actually had a crash here. I had a driver try and overtake a car that was turning right on the left as they were coming through the squeeze point. So we were both coming down the hill from the left here. We came into the squeeze point. There was a driver on the right who was not going anywhere because there was oncoming traffic, and I was able to go down the left-hand side of the car, but this driver came down the hill really fast and then tried to go through a gap that was maybe 3 feet wide on the left of the car, was unable to do it, took me out and punted me into that flower garden you can see there. Look, all I got out of that was some bruises and scratches and pulled muscles, but and the police ended up charging the driver. But a bloke I know, the same thing happened to him at this spot, and he was hit so hard he was thrown right over the flower garden onto the concrete footpath on the other side. He ended up cracking his spine, and it was about 6 months of rehabilitation. So you do get some insanely stupid driver behaviour here from time to time, particularly with rat runners speeding down the hill and trying to do very, very dumb things at this particular intersection. So it's, when I'm saying that if you've got cyclists on the left and cyclists on the right and someone's going to split the difference, and you might think that's absolutely insane. Well, the unfortunate truth is I've seen that insanity on a regular basis. It's just a fact of life. When I came through here about 2 weeks ago, there was actually a variable message sign on the other side of the road with a detour or diversion sign and an arrow on it. And coming through today, big surprise, not there. Don't know what's happened to it. Let's see if we can find out. When I came through here last week, there was actually a variable message sign about right where that bush is there, pointing that way. So that when I came up the bike path over there, I could see it, and it was detouring me in that direction. Well, the sign's gone now. Now obviously there's a sign there that says Roselle, but can't see any signage on the other side. So I'm going to have a look around here and try and figure out where the heck I'm supposed to go from here, because I've been detoured down here to go to the city. But I get to this point and there's absolutely nothing telling me which way to go. And it's broad daylight. Okay, it's a gloomy, wet, grey day, but imagine coming through here at 6 a.m. in the dark, and where would you go? So on a whim I decided to go straight ahead, and what did I find not very far away? The missing variable message sign. Right, I found a variable message sign. It says cyclists use Roselle Bay, cyclists to city / Piedmont use Roselle Bay. Well, you can't actually see this sign from where I was over there. And use Roselle Bay. What the hell is Roselle Bay? I've got no idea. I don't know, is that Roselle Bay there? Is this Roselle Bay here? No idea. I'm just going to keep wandering around and see what I can find. Now you might think this next bit is pretty stupid, and yes, it is stupid. Why did I go this way? Well, because I had a choice of a couple of different ways, and I just thought I'd try one way. And I eventually gave up on it and turned around and came back because I could find no signage in this direction telling me if I was going in the right direction or not. Where is the signage? Where's the diversion signage? I mean, as you know, Roselle Bay is out there in the middle of the bay somewhere. It's 100 metres offshore. Where am I supposed to go? You know, if I'm a tourist or if it's dark, you tell me. Railway parade, and like Kermit in the Muppet movie, I've come to a fork in the road. And I've come from up there and gotten to this intersection, and there's bike symbols on the road that go that way, and there's bike symbols on the road that go that way, and there's a sign here that says the Parramatta Road, etc. And there's a sign over there that says, that one, it says Roselle, Balmain, City via Anzac Bridge. Well, it's useful, but you can only see it from here, and I've just ridden from over there, and obviously the sign's half covered by a tree, so when you're riding from there, you don't actually see that sign. So toss a coin, do I go that way or do I go that way? Where's the signage? And off we go again. Let's see where this road takes us. Is this going to get us to the city or not? Let's find out. Now, in this instance, I've come from that direction round this bend, and I've gotten here, and obviously this path is blocked off, but there's absolutely no indication as you're approaching it that it's blocked. You just suddenly get here and it's blocked, and it says there's a sign there saying pedestrians go up the hill. Again, no word of a diversion or any warning signage up front, or any maps anywhere showing you where to go. I did a U-turn and just gave up on trying to go that way. I've come back, and where we came to the fork on the road before, I'm going to try going the other way, and let's see where that takes us. Right, I've given up on that other route. I've come up Hutchison Street, which is a pretty steep old road. And down the bottom, well, here there's some very, very faded bike symbols. There's none up there. And on a previous day, I spied a bike symbol over there on that street. Tiny little thing, smaller than an A4 piece of paper, pointing down there, a bit of road which has just been newly asphalted. Beautiful looking bit of street by the look of it. No symbols on it. Can't see any signs, but I'm going to use the force and I'm going to go that way, and I'm going to see where it takes me. Now you might be noticing a fairly common theme by now, and that is no signage. No signage at any intersection, no signage on any of these streets. There's no wayfinding whatsoever. So let's get up to the next corner and toss a coin and see where we go. And I've come out at Piper Street. And look, again, there's bike symbols over there. Cars can't get through there, but you can see there's a cutout on the fence. So I could ride through there, although it says no through road. Or I could turn left and go up there. Now, I'm pretty sure the other day when I came through here, there was a variable message sign around here somewhere saying to go up here, but I can't see anything at the moment. So I'm going to turn left, because I know the city's over that way. My direction is not that bad. I'm going to see where this one takes me. Now, you might be watching this thinking, surely it's obvious which way to go. Well, I'm hoping what I'm showing here is it is absolutely not obvious which way to go. Not at all. And it's pretty easy to get lost. And there's heaps and heaps of signage on all the diversions everywhere else. There's just absolutely none for cyclists. I've just come up that hill and I've popped out at Annandale North Public School, and that's Johnson Street there. Obviously I've got to turn left. Well, I'll say obviously because the sign says left, but there's absolutely nothing here for Westconnex, any diversion signage. Now I'm going to finish part one here. I'm going to retrace my steps, but I'm going to use different streets, and I'm going to look around to see if I can find any direction for wayfinding signage. Part two, then I'll come back tomorrow and start from this point and head down there and see what that part looks like. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm having a complaint here about the diversion, because if you look at the route that I took today to actually do this, I did this nice big diversion around the bay, which is something I do every day. So it's not like the diversion is a terrible thing. This, complaint is all about the lack of wayfinding signage, through this. And look, you can see here, I went around all the back streets in this area looking for signage, and I even went up there. And apart from those two variable message signs around Catherine Street, which are not very good. I mean, they're shockingly poor quality. And they're very hard to see during daylight. I couldn't find anything else. Now, if there's something else out there, please let me know. I'd like to go and have a look at it. But I thought I'd give it a pretty good crack today, and went and looked absolutely everywhere, under every tree stump and everything, and there's nothing there. So what's going on? Well, I've done my last detour. I've come all the way up Catherine Street to the intersection of Moore Street. And over there's some signage pointing to my left which says Annandale and Glebe. And yeah, that's a very well-known cycle route down there, I guess. But again, I haven't seen a single sign anywhere saying anything about detours, etc. Even though I've been going around a few back streets as well. So I don't know where all the signage is, but I can't find it. I just wanted to point out the location of that variable message sign down there and who the hell it's supposed to be directed at. Now I've just come down the hill behind me. Let's wait for this bus to go by. Now, coming down the hill behind me, see these trees here? They're hanging out over the road a bit, and you can't actually see from about 10 metres back, you can't actually see the sign. So at this point I can see the sign, but because of the absolutely crummy nature of it, you can't actually read it unless you're almost directly in front of it. If you're a few degrees off being perpendicular to the surface, you can't actually read what's on it. So what it's there for, who it's directed at, is a bit of a mystery. Well, to summarise, what have we got? We've got two variable message signs. They're old, they're in poor condition, they're badly located, and that's it. One of them sends you over the Catherine Street Bridge, the other one, well, is completely useless, it's pointing in the wrong direction, and from that point on, you're on your own. I'm not entirely sure where all this wayfinding signage is. I don't know if I'm in the right place. But anyway, let's do part two tomorrow and see if I can get from Johnson Street down towards the Anzac Bridge. Now, I've just done a bit more Googling on my PC, and thankfully my monitor is a heck of a lot larger than my iPhone, because I was actually able to find an alternative for Roselle Bay, something I probably never would have found on my phone if I was standing on the side of the road. And it appears to be, well, I'm not a local, so I don't know what Roselle Bay is. It appears to be where this bit of path is blocked off. So what's the point of having a variable message sign which sends you down a street to a thing that's blocked off? I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. Anyway, part two tomorrow. Let's see if it gets any worse.